And spawning over in the top left-hand side as our red Zerg, it is Vanya.
And down here on the bottom right-hand side of the map, representing Team Ago, he is Elazer. Just play like a Protoss player. What if I just be that guy and send out my drone, body block the hatchery? Like, I can do this too.
Yeah, I like, you know, very often I'll be asked in like my stream, like, hey Ben, is this a good idea or not? And it'll be something really obscure, you know, like building ghosts in your opponent's base and stuff. And it's like, do the pros do it? And it's like, no. And it's like, there's probably a reason for that, you know, like these guys have mapped things out for you, absolutely. But sending out that first drone, we see it in effect a little bit in that, yeah, your hatchery was faster, but your pool's later. You actually are quite a little bit behind in minerals. Your drones came out later and stuff. Like, there was actually quite a few deficits to Vanya's build that actually popped out because of that. So if there's usually a reason why the pros aren't doing the things that they do. But yeah, we'll see how this accumulates from this point on. I think it's kind of nice doing something to throw your opponent off a little bit and just let him know how crazy you actually are.
Yeah, and I guess to look on the optimistic side of things as well. Like you were talking about Elazer, he loves getting a little bit aggressive, or like, you know, you were saying the timings and everything, but he's also definitely a player who's not afraid to do like you know, massive drone pull all-ins and stuff, or you build the spine crawlers and everything. I guess if you go for a block like that, you get pretty good advanced notice on all of that. So probably all not really coming into play this game though, because it's I want to say a more normal looking game, but it's actually just mirrored layer timings on two bases very early on.
Super mirrored, yeah. They're totally skipping the like speedling stage of the game, skipping the baneling stage of the game, and just, yeah, rolling on out into their lair techs. And I liked the fact that the Evo chamber for Elazer was placed exactly where you'd put like a baneling nest usually on its own. But now, yeah, he's using it to formulate a wall. So, yeah, I'm interested already. Vanya, on the other hand, going for 4 gases, like 3 all at once here with his lair tech. So maybe we're going to see a Spire for him. Very unusual to do that, though, if he is going to go up against, like, very, very fast roaches.
Yeah, I mean, you called it. It is just going to be that Spire with those fast gas geysers. But I think you're saying, like, it's a bit more unusual to try and do something like this. And this is because when you go for the Spire, there's usually going to be considered this vulnerability period, right? Where your Spire is still getting up. You maybe don't have that many mutas. If your opponent is able to just put the pressure on, they can do a lot. I do wonder, is Elazer actually going to try and hit during that time period? He has his +1 weapons timed out to probably finish up before there are a lot of mutas out, or if any. Roach speed is also on the way. There's maybe that opportunity there for Elazer.
I have no idea how both of these things match up against one another. Like, has Elazer spotted the Spire yet? Let's have a quick look-see. Doesn't look like he has, but maybe he's been good enough to deduce that it probably is Mutas. The thing is, he's going for double upgrades here, which definitely slows down his attack. He's not getting his own third up. Okay, the third will be going up now for him, but it's definitely a little bit later than Vanya. Honestly, I'm liking Vanya's position more and more as this game goes on. He's expecting the attack to come. That's why he's putting up spine crawlers. And now Elazer's going to spot what he's up against.
Yeah, sees the completed Spire right after it's finished on up. And also with the changeling spotted out all the spine crawlers. So now Elazer's finally in the know. Is it going to be too late to do a whole lot about it? No, says Elazer. It throws down a Nidus Swarm. I'm not actually sure where that Nidus Swarm is. Looks like the Queens will be able to take care of that Overseer before he gets a spot out on that. And there really aren't a lot of other scouting tools available for Vanya right now. All of his speedlings are back at home. The mutas are moving across the map, and they're not exactly in super high numbers just yet. This is definitely going to get a little bit funky.
This is going to get super funky, and Vanya's probably like, aha, I got the Overlord on the map. Now you can't plant a Nidus towards me. But the thing is, Elazer, he has to keep this Overseer on the bottom alive, or this Changeling, because, that's where he's going for his Nidus. And the thing is, Vanya spread a lot of creep as well outside of his natural, so that will allow Elazer's army to move significantly faster while attacking it.
Okay, so he spotted out the Nidus Swarm now, like the Nidus Swarm inside of Elazer's natural. So he starts up some spine crawlers immediately. I really like that reaction because the Nidus Swarm is also actually just at the front door. It's not necessarily diving in into the main base or something, getting in behind those spine crawlers. So just having more defenses over at this front is going to be extremely helpful. Throwing down spore crawlers also on his opponent's side of the map to help deal with the mutas, that's going to back up those queens quite a bit. But remember, Elazer has to get something done here.
He certainly does. He only has 7 queens alive, but these queens do have 1/1 upgrades, and the mute upgrade isn't quite done yet. The roaches are dealing with the spine crawlers somewhat, but Vanya, is he actually holding this? There's still a lot of spine crawlers alive, and Elazer's attack so far has been absolutely thwarted. A spore crawler is alive and marches forward on its own. That was definitely a ballsy spore crawler, but now it's down, and now the mutas dealing with spore crawlers is going to be very difficult for him.
Yeah, I mean, the spine crawlers don't actually have that much to tank for them anymore, although a couple of lings are going to start popping on out, which will definitely help a little bit, but those spine crawlers getting really, really low. And with the spore crawlers, like you said, zoning out those mutas, I wonder if there's a second life over here for Elazer's big attack. He has his reinforcements finally coming in from that Nexus room as well. And Vanya's response is, let's go for the counterattack. And Roach and Ling in that wall and got to prevent the quick run by over here. Although they're not on hold position. Oh, okay. They're really close.
Nice movement by Elazer, nice micro. He's okay with giving up this third, actually, by the looks of it. Might be able to save it with a few of these roaches. The queens do run in, but the third is falling. But the thing is, that is not the main battle going on. It is over here. By the way, Elazer actually killed the creep tumors, which actually means that these spores aren't, like, they're going to start taking quite a bit of damage here just from that.
Yeah, I actually wonder, by the time the creep starts spreading back in, some of these spore crawlers might actually go down to the orange or the yellow or something over here. Throws down some transfuses. That's going to help out a little bit. And finally, they're getting that creep, so they're going to stop bleeding on out. Vanya, he's got the same number of workers, so it's not like he has an economic advantage, even with the third base, but the muta count is growing. And I do wonder, you know, is there going to be a point where the muta count just grows so much you can even dive in on those queens?
Not with the spore crawlers, I feel, but he is going for it. Doesn't manage to take out. Okay, gets 1 queen, but that was definitely for quite a bit of muta damage here. The spore crawlers are still alive, and all the spine crawlers have been taken out. Vanya, you know, he's living on borrowed time here, it feels like. 20 mutas, that is a lot, but that's a decent amount of queens still firing up into the sky. The lair under fire here from Elazer, and Vanya, he's having to retreat from his own natural.
Yeah, he's going to lose both the lair, and he's also going to lose a lot of the larva that was being made for extra units. Elazer looked like this is going to be a dicey situation, not seeing the mutas coming at all, but he really turned it around with that very last second scout on that spire. And now you can see he's actually starting to move his spore crawlers further and further forward as he encroaches on the main base of Vanya. Vanya loses 1 base, okay, not great. You lose the second one, it's over. You can't really come back on just that 1 base, right?
Oh, Vanya, I mean, rather, Elazer has to respect this mute account, though, because, like, trying to fight it without the spores, and we see it, trying to pick off a queen there, but Elazer, very good with his transfusion micro. Like, Elazer, the only thing that shoots up for him is the spores and the queens. He doesn't have, like, a Hydralisk end or anything like that. So he has to take this very methodically. But the thing is, he has taken out a pretty vital base of Vanya, including the lair. Go over and snipe the spire. I think that'd be a really good spot. And now, no more mutas coming out into the field from this point on. Oh, yeah, but it did survive.
Yeah, there we go. It's worth noting, you were talking about, like, it's a very vital base. There's no mineral income from that low ground base either. Spore Crawler is actually going to manage to get the burrow in. He throws down those transfuses, keeps that Spore Crawler alive enough, and Elazer takes the first game from a very defense. But we're going to be moving into game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Or sorry, game number 2 over here as we start down in the bottom left-hand side of the map, top of the blue Zerg player sitting up 1-0. His team goes Elazer.
And spawning over in the bottom right-hand side, or top right-hand side even, as the red Zerg, it is Vanya. Yeah, he's exceptionally good at it, and always has been. Like, people might be like, Ben, you're just making shit up. But no, like, I've literally been there at LAN events where he'll be watching a replay and he'll ask me, like, do I think that it will work? Like, his evil plan kind of thing? I'm like, yeah, it might work, but every plan that he's ever asked me about is about whether it will, like, kill his opponent, you know, as opposed to, like, does he survive things? And you know, it's worked for him thus far. He's a very, very successful StarCraft 2 player.
Inarguably at this point, right? Multiple BlizzCon finishes, like you said, getting to the finals, the GSL versus the world. Like, Elazer is absolutely the accomplished player, and on the other hand, Vanya, an extremely talented young player that has actually a decent amount of hype around him, especially if you listen to Rotterdam. But I think it's still looking for that same kind of proving ground moment where he can say, like, okay, I'm not just a pretty good player.
Ooh.
I'm a really exceptional player. Nice denial on that Ling getting into the main base.
That was a super nice denial. By the way, it's got to be said, both these guys are like skipping the early part of the game with like the not usual Ling speed. They're both like...
Gentleman agreement.
Yeah. By the way, Elazer has a lot of gas saved up. Hasn't started his lair yet, which is... It's a bit disconcerting for me because what is he going to spend his gas on? Is he going to start speedling? Like, getting a second gas as well with so much. I am curious about Elazer's build right now. I hope he hasn't done something where he's like forgot lair. Okay. This might be a super damn all-in from Elazer where he's invested. Okay, lair tech now starts up his 3 gases. Unusual to say the least.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And I do wonder what a lot of that's going to be going. Because, yes, you can sort of +1 weapons and everything. And I guess you could pump out a few early roaches here. Vanya, on the other hand, is also actually getting up a decent number of roaches nice and early on. 9 roaches already started up and has cut workers a good bit earlier. So I actually feel like as much as we're talking about, oh, yes, Elazer potentially going to go for like this big attack, Vanya is not actually droning up at all right now. He's just pooling up his roaches in his natural.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Vanya at some point just kind of like lines up overlords on the map and goes for like a creep highway push kind of thing. And I mean, things are set up for that. The thing is, if Elazer is going for his own like timing attack, just hitting a little bit later, usually that works out very poorly for the guy that's going for the attack that hits earlier. Because the thing is, Elazer, he's got a way better economy. He just have to find out what's going on soon, because if he does drone up at any point, he's going to be in trouble. But I feel like he's just going to have a better economy with just going to be able to stop this. And the creep highway, it does start. So it is exactly what I thought Vanya would be going for here.
And it's all scouted. And Elazer doesn't have the awkward decision to make of, oh no, do I defend the low ground because of my third base is up? No, it's just you defend the high ground. It's a ramp. It's a choke point. A lot of decisions are actually made quite clear over here for Elazer, and he is going to just have to try and hold on over here, allow that economy to start kicking in. Corrosive Battle's coming down, but not landing. Still, they keep Vanya's roaches from attacking and force him to pull back for a little bit. This is already looking really nice for Elazer.
I just saw Vanya's head tilt there as he ran up that ramp, and Elazer was more than prepared, you know. Elazer's actually starting up +2 attack. He's that confident to survive against this. He's getting his own roach speed. He's got Ravagers like his army. This is nice micro by Vanya, picking off units one by one. But the thing is, Elazer, just a far superior economy behind all this. Elazer doesn't even need to take these fights necessarily, but he can. Like, Elazer's in such a good position. Oh my goodness, Vanya with a Spire starting up. Like, Vanya, a lot of his play is just gamble after gamble after gamble, like, truly.
I mean, yeah, this is absolutely like the desperation Spire here from Vanya, because Elazer he hit that point where at the end of Vanya's attack, he was actually behind an army supply when he was going for this massive all-in. He's been able to drone back up. He just canceled the Spire. Oh, Ben, I think this is just that moment of indecision where you're like, everything is going wrong. I guess I should just go for the Spire. No, maybe I shouldn't. Like, you can feel the contention in his own mind on what the heck he does from here.
Yeah, this is, like, people often wonder, like, hey, does cheese exist in the late game? Yeah, it does, but if your opponent reacts properly to it, you know, you're going to be behind. That is kind of how cheese works. And Elazer, he's just ahead in every regard. He's done a lot of good reads this game, a lot of good reactions, a lot of good stuff in this series as a whole. And now Elazer, he's marching out across the map. He's got an equal drone count, far superior upgrades, far superior army. Will he be able to finish this? I'm not sure right now. Just take a few biles, but if he cancels this +1, oh my goodness. That's a big deal.
That's going to be brutal. There's going to be a fun moment in about 20-30 seconds. Elazer's going to be up 2 upgrades against Vanya. His roaches are going to be killing his opponents. two less attacks, and he's got a higher army supply. Nice micro over here with a pullback micro from Vanya, and he is actually going to be able to push this back for a little bit. But again, that +2 weapons upgrade kicking in 5 seconds. Elazer may just end up retreating back home, but just denying that upgrade was massive.
And Vanya decided to go back into Spire, of all things, by the way, realizing, like, okay, can't really win this ground army for too much longer. Getting a Spire up again. Oh, Vanya's play is, it feels all over the place. It feels like throwing, like being blindfolded and throwing darts at a dartboard, but he might get away with this Spire switch. He is supply blocked as his Spire finishes, and now he's going for tunneling claws and burrow with all of this. I hope he's just bluffing here, but yeah, this is unorthodox to say that he's. Oh, does he see the spy? Is he spy with the changeling?
Oh, and
okay.
this is getting painful. Oh no.
Yeah, I like honestly, and Elazer, he moves out across the map. He's got superior upgrades, and he's like, you know what? I'll get a Hydralisk Den in case this game goes on for longer after all of this. But yeah, Vanya, like this. He just went up against what I would say is a far more solid Zerg player. This is a nice wall off because he wants his Mutas to deal the damage and he wants to slow down Elazer, but Elazer, he's big, he's mean, and he's moving in to deal damage here.
Yeah. Mutas will gradually pick away at this Roach army, but obviously the third base is going to go down in a matter of seconds. And I think the Mutas need a matter of minutes to actually take care of this army. Vanya just decides to go for it, which actually leaves him in an awkward spot because this is turning into a base trade. It's a base trade he's going to get started with almost a minute later.
Yeah, I mean, like Vanya, he's dead this game. There's no nice way to put it. Elazer actually marching in with half his army, dragging the Mutas away, while the other half goes and deals with the main base. And here, Vanya, he's picking off some pretty vital structures like a Roach Warren and stuff, but Elazer's killing him, like actually full-on killing him. There are 2 drones left on the field for Vanya. Elazer gets home. He has Roaches. Roaches are better. He can still make a lot of Hydras as well, right? Like his Hydralisk Den die. Yep.
Well, Ben, I'm gonna do the theoretical like what if situation here, which is extremely unlikely. I'm gonna preface all this with that. If you do manage to kill off that Hydra Den, he could shut down the number of Hydras being made. And there's only, like, you have to kill the Mutas at some point. I wonder if he actually could turn this into a base trade, start making hatcheries around the map and everything. But, oh no, all of his Roaches and Ravagers getting taken out. There it is. GG. Elazer takes that 2-0 victory there and looking extremely strong right now.